Good morning, it's Monday again. I've managed to let my cup of tea go cold. I'm Bev Hepting, the Message Maestro. Those of you who don't know me, why don't you know me? I work with business owners to get them to speak in public with confidence and clarity. And all through September, we are talking about present with power, how to increase your engagement. Being visible is one thing, but if you're not engaging while you're visible, you're not going to get very far. So today we're going to talk about energy. I don't know about you, but I have watched some presentations, both online and live, in a physical setting, that can only be described as dull. No energy is expended. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to be jumping around like a clown and creating. Energy isn't about being big and loud and extrovert. Energy is about the passion you bring to a subject. Now, if you work for an organization and you're sent out to do a pre-recorded, prepared presentation, 9 times out of 10, you haven't been involved in the putting it together. It's very hard to find the passion around it. So I would urge all of you that are asked to do presentations to have some real input into how the presentation is created, because that makes it far easier for you to deliver it. And we will talk about what makes a good presentation in terms of creating it. But today it's about energy. So regardless of if it's a PowerPoint presentation or any other sort of slide presentation, whether you are recording, whether you are just doing like I do, a live stream, or you're doing pre-recorded workshops, whatever it may be, you have to raise your energy. You have to feel that energy and almost push it through the camera lens, because it's your job to infuse other people around what you're talking about. So many people sit back in their chair like this and they talk about the things that they really like. And I could be talking about you doing a presentation, and then I sort of look down at my notes and you've got to be much bigger and brighter. Who's bored now? It's even harder online, because the person you are talking to, and it doesn't matter how many people are on the call or listening, but the person who is listening to you is often on their own, in their house, all comfy, in the pajamas, having their breakfast, whatever else is going on. And you need to wake them up, get them interested, and keep them interested until the very end. Energy is vital to do presentations and visibility. It's around being passionate about the subject or the tiny bit of information you're giving to people. And being able to focus on one particular thing in your message. I talked about this last week around keeping it simple and just talking about one thing. It's a lot easier to focus your energy on it, because your brain isn't trying to come up with all the other things you're going to talk about. So let's think about how we can create that energy, regardless of what's going on around you, regardless of the fact that kids have wrecked the living room and hubby's burnt the toast, and well, hopefully the kids are back at school and furlough's ending and all of that. But however your day is panning out, if you're going to come online to people, you have to show up with energy. And to do that, you need to be upright. You need to open up so your diaphragm is open. You're taking oxygen in and you're projecting not only your information, but your energy about that information through that lens to people. And I said last week, if you struggle with the whole don't know who I'm talking to bit, put a picture of someone behind the lens of your camera and talk to them. But talk to them in a way, you would talk to people in the street if you wanted to engage with them. If you wanted to say, for instance, go to a party, or you wanted a friend to go to a party with you, you wouldn't sort of knock on the door and go, "Hi, do you want to come to a party?" The other person is likely to say, "Well, no, not really," unless they know you very well. But by having some energy and enthusiasm, you are giving your listeners permission to have the same enthusiasm and energy, and it becomes an emotional connection. I talk all the time about the emotional connection, and you want a positive emotional connection, not a negative one. You don't want people to emotionally think, "God, I could have done something more with this hour. Oh, I'm so bored. Oh, what are they talking about? No, I'm moving on." You want people up in their chairs, leaning forward, listening to what you have to say, because it's important. I cannot emphasize enough how energy is the way to infuse your listeners, engage with your listeners, influence your listeners, and get your listeners to do something. And isn't that the point of us turning up? Isn't that the point of visibility? To give information, to give value, to offer a present, if you like, to your listeners, something they can take away. And then they can turn around to other people and say, "You know what? Excuse me. Do you know what? That was a great video I watched, great live stream, great webinar, went to an amazing workshop," whatever it may be, because you want them to tell other people. You want them to remember it enough to tell other people. Because if they're not enthused, and if actually the brain's switched off, they're not going to tell anybody else. In fact, you become that annoying person who, when you say to them, "You're okay," and then you wish you hadn't, because they spend the next hour telling you every ailment, every negative thought, every whatever to you. And you end up trying to avoid them. Well, that happens online, and it is so much easier to do because you just don't click on join. And you want as many people to be clicking join as possible. So, next time you're going to present, whichever sort of presentation it may be, and especially online, think about sitting up, stand up if possible. I do a lot more standing up. It's a completely different energy. But at the very least, hold yourself up, get your shoulders back, take that breath, and be passionate about what you're talking about. You don't have to be loud. Yeah, I know I'm loud. You don't have to be arms all over the place. Yeah, I know I do that. You just have to be passionate and engaged and want to give to your audience. So go away and think about that. Have fun. Fuse yourselves. I always end up getting a cup of tea before I start anything because that makes me feel great, but my tea's gone cold, so I'm going to have to go and make another one. Anyway, people, have a great week. I will be back next Monday for the 10-minute power tip, but keep an eye out through the week for more things around presentations. There's some articles in the Bev Hector and the Message Maestro group. If you're not a member of the group, let me know and I'll put you in there, or just go find it. Whatever you do, make some comments, let me know what you think, and I'll talk again soon. Bye.